Welcome back to another episode of The Movie Chest. I'm one of your hosts, Alex.
I'm Matt.
I'm Patricia.
Noah.
All right, and this episode is The Killing of a Sacred Deer, directed and also written by Yorgos Lanthimos. It was also written by Efthimis Philippou. Probably butchered the fuck out of that. But what'd you guys think? I know going into this, I know Matt, when we drew these a while back, you were a little weary because you're like, oh, this is gonna be emotionally draining. What did you think? I've been curious if it was a kick in the nuts.
Okay. I haven't seen any of Lanthimos' movies, although I hear that they're all fantastic.
They are.
This is the first one. I did avoid them because I know that they're so dryly like dramatic or dark or something. I enjoyed this movie. It was dark and it was weird. I guess it didn't leave me with the darkness in my soul that I thought it would.
He has
Although
a comedy in it, you know.
It's like a funny. It's like got that weird vibe. It's kind of like Swiss Army Man playing at some weird vibes here. The comedy and the horror of it all. Dark ending, very dark ending. But it was. I think it was justified. Like it all felt right. It didn't feel like I was like, oh no, like what the no. But like because something had to happen.
Right.
I don't know what the goal, like what the end result could have been. Like the main character. So he just decided to do what he did,
right?
You know, but no, I enjoyed it. I just watched it today, so I think I might go I might rethink it a little more. Just like the first half felt like a whole different movie, and then the second half was a completely different movie, which was good. But I also am wondering about rewatchability for this movie, maybe not paying off again. Yeah, but that's kind of my take.
Fair.
Yeah, it was kind of. It's very slow for me.
It is slow.
And it was kind of weird. I was weirded out with how they were acting because it was so monotone. And I was like, vibe. So I was like, oh, I guess it's a style of his directing or whatever.
I haven't seen Dogtooth, but I know The Lobster is like, it's a little more light, but it's the same kind of humor where it's super dark, but you can't help but laugh because it is funny.
Yeah,
you know?
But I feel like it fit well in the movie. Yeah. You know, just everything's just dull, and then this kid. But I mean, at first I was like, why is this adult hanging out with this teen?
Yeah,
kind of secretly. I was like, what is? I did not expect it to be because he operated on his dad, and I was like, but just the way it unfolded too, I was like, okay, I get it. I can get behind this.
Yeah. What I enjoyed about it was also the fact that nothing, like, it didn't fully explain everything, and I think a lot of movies nowadays lack that mystery where you're kind of just left to think for yourself of like, okay, what is this for? What is the purpose of, like, say, these characters' actions and things like that? So I think that's nice in this film, The Lobster, which is one of his other films. You know, I enjoy that aspect, the mystery aspect of things that makes you think more.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that everything wasn't explained. Like at a different movie would have been like Barry Keoghan's character Martin. Like they would have shown his like witch coven or some shit.
Right. It would have just actually exposition dump one scene for like 5 minutes.
But I know what you mean. It's like gray enough and weird enough and.
Yeah, there's like an ominous overtone that really plays to the writing.
The music is like straight up like like horror, like you're waiting for something terrible to happen.
So. It plays that tension well, I think. But it was. I did catch myself like chuckling at it because like there's moments. I mean, when they're all like fucking crawling around. Like, I don't know, just like
that to me was another good like way to physically make your characters. Like a metaphor now because they're like crawling around like babies again. For the dad he has to like he's the man who has to make the decision. Like that was just like kind of a smart writing moment. I thought it is weird. It's like so weird and awkward and
it's,
makes you physically uncomfortable the entire time.
The
shit, I loved it.
I guess we can spoil the end because like when it was happening, when they have the bags on their heads and like he's circling, that image was like so funny and weird and shocking
and
so
practical.
You know, it's like it was like a mix of so many weird things happening in my brain. I was like, I don't know what I'm seeing. and how I feel.
Right, right.
But I kind of like it.
Yeah, I was like, I get it.
Like, I'd probably do the same.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
if I was in that situation.
It's like I don't want to have to choose. I'll just make myself choose.
Yeah.
I thought it was good too. I mean, the kids are so fucking smart in this movie. It's crazy.
Right?
But
Yeah.
towards the end, like they know what's all kind of happening, and
Yeah.
they're like
appealing to
pleading.
him.
Yeah.
To, like,
It's so fucking hard to watch.
I wanna
Like,
be a
it's like I have so many
ophthalmologist.
friends at
Yeah.
school, Dad. Like,
Yeah.
and then
I'll cut my hair.
Yeah.
I'll water the
Yeah.
plants.
I think I want to be what you are, Dad. You know, like,
I was
Right.
like, oh God,
Yeah.
Martin.
All the please.
and then the daughter.
Wait, what's
I
it?
assumed that she was being smart and being like, you can kill me, Dad. I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Because then it would be like, oh man, she's smart enough to get it that maybe I don't want to kill her. You know, like
Right.
that's kind of what I saw. Is like, I don't know if she was actually okay with it or if she was like playing a gamble.
Yeah,
kinda.
reverse psychology.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah, spoilers, but the little boy ends up biting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob.
It's sad. Yeah, Bob.
What a
Bobby.
his name's just Bob.
what I love about this movie was just the whole, I guess, vibe, I guess you can call it, where it's just like you're put in the entire movie, you're just in this uncomfortable, you're sitting on a bed of nails, but at the same time you're entertained, and it's just dark with some comedy in there, but it's super dark the entire time,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just everything about it plays that well, and I think it was perfectly executed in that manner. So it's, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun, but at the same time, do I want to call it fun?
Right.
I think
mean,
it's fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially when Colin Farrell went to his house. He's like, I'm going to fuck you and your mom the way you like. That one made me laugh so hard. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, this movie, I like was asking questions all throughout, and like they're questions I cared to like think about, you know, because I was like, what is Martin's fucking deal? Like,
Right.
you know, like, and where, and like, well, like the turning moment was when they sit down in the cafeteria or whatever, and he's like, just like kind of like just telling the rules of like what's happening.
Kind of loved how they went about that.
Yeah.
Because like the first hour, it's all build up, and then it's like, I'm going to say exactly what you want to hear, but I'm going to only do it in 30 seconds. So you don't,
Right.
you know, like I just thought that was a fun way to do it.
Stage one, like you went through it, and that was like, for me, that was like the perfect twist to be like, okay, something completely fucking new is happening, like something crazy. So yeah, no, I like was with this film like throughout all the way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
for it being such a slow burn,
Right.
I mean, you're engaged the entire time. So
I think I respect it because it's like the drama was like immediately brought down to like a minutia of like characters because they're so deadpan and so like monotone that like once there's a moment where something's not perfectly paced or like zombie like, it's so like jarring or terrifying. Like one look from a different character that you didn't kind of see coming means so much. And I think that's why we were so invested probably is because like we're in their pacing, and then when something bad happens, even slightly, because not much actually really happens throughout the first hour or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh fuck, what does this mean? And like, why?
Right.
Where's this taking me? Like, it was good. It was like the drama really kept it. It was like kept it there. So.
Yeah,
And
like
the
when
acting was
Nicole
all up to-
Kidman was like freaking out, like she was the only one freaking out. I was like, bruh, your kids are like dying.
Yeah.
But,
I really liked Nicole Kidman in this actually.
Yeah.
I don't always like her in every movie, but
Same.
she was sold it.
Not usually a fan, but I think everybody was great in it. I mean,
yeah.
Colin Farrell,
Yeah, he did good. He was
Very
silent,
good.
kind of reserved.
very good. I really enjoy him though. So
Yeah, me too. I like the scene where he actually breaks down crying outside. That was well done.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all coming up to him, kind of.
right.
And then his wife is even trying to like be like, we can have kids again.
Yeah.
Buddy. Like, don't worry. Like, it's fucked up. It makes you think.
Right.
Right.
And
What would
especially-
you do in this situation? Right.
Yeah,
You know.
that's a tough decision. And I respect the writers too because they set this premise up and then they're like, we're gonna have to pick at the end what
Yeah.
happens
Right.
here. And,
And
they
the
did.
fact that they followed through with it again,
Yeah.
another thing that
Yeah.
a lot of movies lack nowadays.
Yeah.
They don't follow through with what they have set in motion.
Yeah,
And-
they just want a happy ending.
Right.
You know?
and
They set the stakes and they follow through with the
Right.
stakes,
And
even though you
it's-
don't want to see it or know how it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Right.
it's refreshing.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is.
it's-
It was.
For sure.
Yeah, the silent, just like look at the diner too, like they. And the ketchup on the fries, was that a metaphor for something, or like did you guys?
I could see like a blood thing going
It's
on.
like
but
we
also
did
they
it.
did the whole like I saved my fries for last, you know.
That-
I was,
that
like,
part of
wondering,
it
I was like,
too.
she's just eating the fries then, like
Yeah.
Right.
fuck the fries, fuck this guy. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a deeper meaning, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I don't know. Like the thematic stuff all landed, but I think if I rewatch this, if I wanted to, I don't know if it would be as tight or as like enticing as the first watch, but maybe I'm just overthinking that.
I could see that. I could see that the first watch being so like what we've talked about. It's just so kind of jarring, but at the same time, you know, if it flows, but it's so shocking with the things that happen and it's so dark. Do you really want to revisit it? Do you really want to experience that uncomfortable feeling at the end where he has to make this decision and you're putting yourself in those shoes and you're thinking, what the hell would I do?
Yeah.
You know, you the question that you really don't want.
Right. And it's a brave thing for like the writers to be like, who else is going to write this and make it happen into a movie, you know, especially, you know, recent stuff, you know, nowadays, I don't think something like this would be as acceptable just because maybe as in like Swiss Army Man, an indie film, you know?
Well, even like I like how they didn't have an easy out like most movies would do either, where it's like, well, if the husband kills himself, then no one will die or something.
Right.
Because then it would be an easier decision to make. Like maybe the husband kills himself. That's a whole different movie then.
Yeah.
This one like set the stakes and there was no way out. And like you had to do it. And it's just like there was no resolution here that was happy. And that's it. That's what happened. You know,
and that's fucking life, man.
Right.
You know, life is suffering for the most part.
Yeah, and some things don't. Like she asks the kid, like, why do my kids deserve it when the husband did it or whatever. And I don't really remember what he said, but it's basically just like eye for an eye type of thing, or like he did it, he gets the fucking comeuppance type of thing. Like it's like not explained, but justified enough to be like, you fucked up. You know, like,
I mean, him having to be the one to make the choice. That's
that's
the punishment. Right. You know, you're killing yourself's an easy out. Like Icarus flying into the sun. Just live with your fucking decisions.
Right.
But anyway.
No, I respect that about like the writers and the filmmakers, why they did that. So.
Now he has to live with that, you know.
Right.
As well
forever.
As right.
That like long, I don't know, after he shot Bobby.
Little Bobby.
Little Bob. Yeah, that like it just sat there, you know, it was just a long take and it was just like
the blood
just dripping down and I'm like, fuck. You're like sitting there with him who was sitting there just like taking it in.
And it's like, is it relief? Is it sadness? You know, like
There was one review. It was a review or something I read and it was like, you know, the whole movie, a guy who plays God meets the devil, you know. So it's like,
yeah, I kind of early on I was like wondering if this whole story was revolving around like being like selfish or like selfishness leading to like your problems,
right?
And like the daughter going like me or like singing me, that kind of like led me down that path. But I think it still kind of holds that, but it's a little darker, a little different than that. But.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, kind of leads down to that final choice too. You know, all the humans are, in my opinion, you know, inherently narcissistic. So like at the end, they're just clawing their way to be like, hey, listen, I want to live. Fuck this guy, even though you know that's your brother or that's your mom or you know
the reasons I should live.
Right. Even the daughter was like, here are the reasons why. You know.
And everybody thinks it. Just nobody says it until you know you have a gun pointed at you and you're like, okay. If I really want to live, I really got to start shitting on these people. But then if you do live, you still have to live with these people that you just talk shit about. Yeah. So you have that to live with as well. So.
Yeah, like the characters are changed, but not in like a full story circle changed way. Almost, you know, like
it's like such a subdued like story and performance that I think it's like that's why it's like it's leaving with you. It's like. What the fuck would you do? You're like, how are you thinking through this? Like,
and then you did it. Like you went through it.
Not only does the dad have to live with his decisions, but like all these people now, do they trust each other as a family after everything that just happened and the things that they all said? And it's just
I wouldn't want a baby with Colin Farrell after that. You know what I mean?
And it's just like this is where for me a lot of like what I appreciate about movies is the writing, because this story that was told here, you know, that was more impactful than say. Cool directing, cool action sequences, you know.
And so once you have the idea set, that's why the great actors and the great cinematographers come to you, because you have the basis of a great story set.
Yeah, so. You have that nice foundation that you can actually build something off of.
Right.
Well, that's I think like you kind of like know these characters like so quickly. You know?
Right.
It's like a nuclear family almost that's a doctor and
they're all happy,
they're all successful.
You know,
the American dream.
All the kids are like succeeding and they're in school.
That shit cracked me up when he like goes to the principal and is like,
"Who's better?
If you had to choose, which one do you like more?
Yeah, one's like an artist or a writer, and one's like math oriented and like a scientist. It's like,
oh my gosh,
it's like
that's so hard.
If my parents had to choose, I would be the one dead.
Really?
I feel like, if she talked to, the principal or like someone.
That was hilarious to me. I was like, how do they perform and how do they behave in class? Like,
yeah, it kind of reminded me of Midsummer almost.
A little bit. I can
you know
see
how
that.
like you're just clueless the whole movie, and then
it happens.
And I just love that. Like, I'll probably never watch it again because it's super dark, or but I just love those kinds of movies. I guess
my first watch through of this was with my mom, and it was just funny because I'm like, she's like, what would happen if we were in this situation? I'm like, what would happen?
What would
Please
you do?
explain. Because my sister wasn't there when we watched it. It was just me, my mom, and Sarah. So yeah,
you're already trying to get on her good side. Right? I see.
Is it just you and your sister?
Huh?
Is it just you and your sister? Or do you have other?
Yeah, just me and my sister.
Mom, I'm better.
Yeah, right. Hey,
I took you to this movie. Come on.
But
it'd be hard for us. I think our parents.
I got a lot of choices.
They got a lot of choices. Maybe
I'm the middle child though, so fuck. No, I'm glad I got around to this one. I'm glad you picked it though.
Hey, I'm glad we watched it. Honestly, I've been wanting someone else to watch it and feel the feelings I felt.
I'm pretty fulfilled by it. It's one that's been on my list for a while. So
I do want to see more of Yorgos's stuff.
I really enjoy his stuff. So
yeah, cool.
Let us know what you guys think, and if you were in this situation, what would you do?
Who would you pick?
Who would you pick?